Hey everyone. In today's video, we're going to take a look at how to find the inverse of a function that contains radicals. Okay, so the process here is the same as the last couple of videos where we found the inverses of different functions. You're going to be isolating the variable x, switching the positions of x and y after you've isolated it, and then rewriting your answer in the inverse function notation. So let's take a look at an example of how to do that. Okay, so we're finding the inverse of this function containing the cube root of x. Okay, so again, the first thing we want to do here is start by rewriting this using a y instead of the f of x function notation. And now we're going to try to isolate that x inside of our radical. So I can start by adding 1 on both sides. Okay, I have that 4 on the outside of the radical, which is being multiplied, so I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides. Cube root of x. All right, and now we have the cube root of x. We want to keep the x where it is, but we want to get rid of that cube root around it, so I'm going to cube it to the third power. Okay, and what I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So I'm going to do that to the entire thing. Okay, so I get x is equal to y plus 1 over 4 to the third power. Okay, x is now by itself. Okay, it's isolated, so now we are going to rewrite this. Okay, changing the position of x and y, so it's going to now become y equals x plus 1 over 4 cubed. And now we just want to replace that y with our inverse function notation and write out our final answer. And there we have it. So that would be the inverse of our function containing the radical. Again, a little bit of a process here. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, this one's a little different. The cube root is surrounding this entire expression on the inside, so we're going to have to get rid of that right in the beginning. But before we do that, again, we're going to rewrite it using a y. Again, I do that just to make it a little bit easier to manipulate. Okay, so we need to get rid of that cube root. So I'm going to go to the third power again here. Okay, and again, we do the same thing to the other side. We're going to cube y. Okay, so we get y cubed is equal to 7x plus 5. And again, we are still solving for, or trying to isolate x. So I subtract 5 on both sides. I get y cubed minus 5 equals 7x. And then I'm dividing by 7, and I get x equals y cubed minus 5 over 7. Okay, now that x is isolated, let's go ahead and switch the position of x and y, and we're going to write our final answer. Okay, so we get y equals x to the third minus 5 over 7. And now we're going to replace the y with our inverse function notation, x cubed minus 5 over 7. Make that 3 a little bit more legible. And there we have it. Okay, so again, the process for all these different types of functions is the same 3 steps pretty much, but again, it does vary depending on the type of function and your inverse, how your inverse operations are going to be solved. Okay, but here we have, again, the inverse of a function containing a radical.